What's going on, people? Welcome to another Toronto Hoop Talk live stream. Today we got Cowboys Niners. Wait, did I say Toronto Hoop Talk live stream? Damn, I'm mixing the channels up. Welcome to another In Motion Football live stream. Today we got Niners and Cowboys. Sunday Night Football, second last game of Week 8. We got a bunch of recaps to get through. We got a kick return coming out to the 30. We have a rested Cowboys team against a banged up Niners team. So let's see what's in store for us on Sunday night, people. Shout out to everybody watching live right now. 4 people watching live here early. Illegal formation for the Cowboys on a kick return. That stinks. I don't know how that happens. But yeah. As always, shout out to everybody tuned in live. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. 2 very important forms of engagement for the growth of a YouTube channel. Cowboys will start at their own 25. Zeke in the backfield. No Dalvin Cook yet. Tolbert goes in motion. Hand off to Zeke. Zeke up the middle for about 6 or 7 yards. Yeah, this week's been a crazy week. A few upsets, a Hail Mary, a 50 burger got put on somebody's head. We're gonna have a lot to talk about for sure when we do the recaps. And in this game, somebody is gonna be the Cowboys would be 3-4, Niners would be 3-5. You know for sure that they don't. That's not. Oh, what a catch from CD! You know that's something that they want to desperately avoid. Although their division is so trash that there's a pretty decent likelihood that it doesn't matter. If they get McCaffrey back and start playing better, they'll be back in the race regardless. But yeah, people. Toss to Zeke. Minus yards on this first down run. 2nd and 11. Cowboys get behind the chains. Oh, yeah, behind the chains on this set of downs. Second and 10 here. 3 wide receivers set for the Cowboys. Can't tell who the third wide receiver is, but they run a wide receiver screen to Lamb right behind him. Pick up about 5 yards on 2nd down. 3rd and 5. And the first chance for San Francisco to get off the field. Dak on 3rd and 5 hands it off to the fullback. They get stuffed. So you got a 5 and out for Dallas to start the game. Really weird play call here. Kind of clear that they're just hoping to catch the Niners by surprise. But Fred Warner is completely unblocked. So that's as far as being caught by surprise as you could possibly be. But yeah, that's a weird one for sure. Oh no. The hell is this? But yeah. Only 1 first down for Dallas on their first drive. Off a bye week, chance to script up some plays. Clearly nothing put together for the first drive here. We'll see how the Niners fare. First chance at having the ball. So I think we have Debo and Kittle for this game. Obviously no Ayuk or McCaffrey. No Jawan Jennings. So still a pretty light Niners team. But shout out to everybody watching us right now. For those of you guys who might not be familiar with how we do things here. During the breaks in play, we're going to recap games. if we get through that and the game's not, particularly interesting, we're gonna do a season prediction, which is the other thing we do at this channel. First game we're gonna get into, for recap's sake, Thursday Night Football. I was hoping to be here, but I couldn't make it. Vikings Rams. So the Vikings lose back-to-back games, drop to 5-2. Obviously, a face mask at the end of the game. Huge play, decisive play in that one. But as for the game in totality, it's a pretty interesting thing to keep in mind that Brian Flores' Vikings defense has been a really blitz-heavy defense for a long time. All of a sudden, the Lions had a great game against them, figured out how to play against their blitz-heavy defense, and what we saw as an adjustment is that the Vikings defense blitzed a lot less. So I talked about, I think during the Sunday night stream last week, that I think to keep, it was the Monday night stream. I think to keep in mind is that it looks like Detroit put a bit of a blueprint out for how to play Minnesota's defense. And if anything, Sean McVay, his kind of offense is pretty well built to get at, or pretty well built to do some of the stuff Detroit does from a tactical standpoint. So I do think that the Rams had a really good game plan. They had a really good approach to playing the Vikings defense, and the Vikings defense got scared into being much different. I think I saw something that they blitzed 30% of the time, whereas typically the Vikings defense was blitzing up into the 50s. So this is an important thing to watch, or just to keep an eye on, is that it looks like Minnesota's defense may have been figured out. Brian Flores' unit was obviously a really big part of why they were successful this year. But if that's something that's been figured out, if that's something that they're going to have to change going forward, it's an important consideration, because mid-season, figuring something out on the fly might be a challenge that sticks with them for the rest of the year. So big takeaway here is that the Rams look healthy, or they're getting healthy slowly. They're still missing 2 offensive linemen. They could get healthier. But yeah, they were a playoff team towards the end of, or they were a playoff team last year. That happened because towards the end of the year, they were playing good ball. Mind you, this is a team that I think played Detroit tough in a playoff game last year, and then played Detroit tough in the home opener this year. So Detroit being the class of the NFL right now, look, a healthy Rams team is a decent team, and in an incredibly weak division, we could see the Rams being the team that comes out if they obviously get completely healthy and they keep playing good ball. So that's something to keep in mind. The next game we'll get into is Eagles-Bengals, but the game is back. We got 2nd and 9 for the Niners. After a first down run goes for 1 yard. They're going to get 9 yards to Ricky Pearsall on 2nd down. I'm sure he caught a pass last week. I'm sure that's not his first career catch, but first catch of this game for sure. Kind of bullies Oruwariye there. Actually, he didn't get the first down. It was short. It was 3rd and 1. Purdy got a good 3 yards on a sneak, but a flag flew immediately. False start on the offense. So now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 6. It goes from what I thought was a first down to 3rd and 6. Oh yeah, they're moving as the ball gets snapped. So that's an illegal formation or a false start or whatever they want to call it. But you can't have players moving like that before the snap. Debo goes in motion on 3rd and 6. He runs deep. Purdy takes a shot to Debo, and Debo is still running. Debo picks up about 40 yards on 3rd and 6. It looks like they had him in the backfield. The Cowboys had man coverage on the play. That means that Eric Kendricks was one-on-one against Debo Samuel, which is a horrible matchup there. and the Cowboys pay for it. So, gotta be mindful of the defensive or have to be critical of the defensive coordinator there, because you know that the Niners like putting Debo in the backfield. You know that a linebacker is not going to be able to cover Debo Samuel. So there has to be something there where if Debo's in the backfield, you can audible out of man coverage into zone coverage, because that was easy. That was way too easy. What's going on, Jared Brown? Texans picked up another close win. They're having an interesting year, man. Just always in close games. Jordan Brooks. Is it Jordan Brooks? Is it Jonathan Brooks? Same like week one. Good point. Good point. Very similar to week one. Holding on use check. Damn, how often do you see that? But yeah, Houston, same thing that we've seen a lot of this year. They're a pretty interesting team from the standpoint of they just play everybody close. They still haven't quite caught their stride, something to watch for. I talk about it a lot. But we have to keep in mind that the Houston Texans quietly are not that good. Obviously, they they had a good showing in the playoffs last year, and they got better on paper. But yeah, I'm pissed today by yeah, AR5 stinker, 100%, man. The questions have to be asked at some point. Question has to be asked. How long can you go before playing Joe Flacco? Because Joe Flacco actually gives you a chance to win games. You guys played the Houston Texans really, really close. And your lack of polished quarterback play cost you. Let me see what AR's stat line looks like. It's 3rd and 10 for the Niners in the meantime. AR, 10 for 32 is just unacceptable. 10 for 32 in the NFL is unacceptable. Brooks up the middle. They were trying to catch the Niners, the Cowboys by surprise. Clearly, they're comfortable with the field goal. Drake May in concussion protocol. Yeah, I hope he's back for next week. But a lot of the times when a player gets in concussion protocol, they miss the next week. So, what do the Patriots have next week? Oh, they have the Titans. Oh wow, Patriots Titans. What a matchup. He was definitely trash. He was definitely trash. And again, this can only happen for so long before at some point you have to ask the question. Does it have to be Flacco time in Indy? Field goal for the Niners puts them up 3 points, 3-0. This is true though, man. The Colts almost had the Texans twice. Almost had the Texans twice. Question could be asked, if they had Joe Flacco playing, do they win both those games? And if they have Joe Flacco playing, let me see the AR5 games from this year. So Colts are 4-4. Week 1, AR not playing great, loses to the Texans by 2. Week 2, AR doesn't play great, throws 3 picks. They lose to the Packers by 6. Malik Willis's Packers. Week 3, AR loses to he beats the Bears. So 1, 2. So there's 2 games that they lost with AR5. Those are both games that they lost by 1 score. Argument could be made that Flacco comes in and he's definitely worth 1 touchdown. So yeah, definitely the case where if you play Joe Flacco from the beginning of the year, are you a 6-2 football team? Throwing in your own 10 with 23 seconds left is stupid. That Bears and Commanders game was crazy. Yes, this ending was insane. Man, I don't know what the Bears did. I don't know what the Bears did to create this bad luck, but they have some of the worst. Like that curse is unreal. Yeah, that curse is crazy. I was pissed with him today. We have keep having close games, getting bored. Not for sure. Like I think they would have an easy time being a playoff team if they were Flacco. Like I think you were saying before the year you wanted 11 wins. Yeah, you guys probably get 11 wins with Flacco, but I don't think you guys are going to get 11 wins with AR. Let AR learn from Flacco. He clearly has some learning to do as well. Like it's not even just about the team; it's about him as well. He could benefit from learning. So the Niners got 3 points on their first drive, 3-0, 7:14 to go in the first. Then the Chiefs got Hopkins for a fifth-round pick. Yep, the rich get richer. Now, obviously, he's not the same DeAndre Hopkins or close to it, but still an upgrade over what they had. Still, still an upgrade over what they had. So they're gonna take it and probably just continue their formula of what they are right now. We get 12 wins with Joe Flacco, and we have a lot of injuries still. This is true because they just got DeForest Buckner back for this game. They just got DeForest Buckner back. So the Cowboys get 1st and 10 from their own 32. Fake to Dalvin Cook. Pass to the flat to Ferguson, who gets yanked down by Devondre Campbell. Gain of 2 yards there. Second and 8. Cowboys playing with some tempo. Got back to the line of scrimmage quickly. Dak steps back. Dump off to Dalvin Cook, who picks up about 10 yards there. First down. Dalvin Cook's first touch as a Cowboy. Been on the practice squad ramping up for a few weeks now. Should have beat the Texans twice and the Packers. I mean, shit, if that happens, what does that put you at? 7-1? And that's the thing. I'm sure the players know it as well. That as a supporting cast for a quarterback, we're a damn good team and we're being held back by one guy. And again, Steichen is putting his reputation on the line in that locker room by delaying the inevitable. Can't blame Gus Bradley today, but still Gus Bradley out every time. Yeah, it's interesting. The quarterback and the defensive coordinator, the big question marks in Indianapolis. Dak steps back, surveys, looks back to his right, throws to CeeDee Lamb, who makes a hell of a hands catch there. Doesn't get his chest into it at all. Just plucks it out of the air, gets pushed out of bounds immediately. It's a little bit short of the first down marker. Third and 1. My Texans play the Jets, Lions, and Cowboys the next 3 weeks. So, the way you guys are playing, I feel like you guys are gonna go probably 2-1. You guys definitely lose one of those games. No way you guys lose all three, but you guys definitely lose one of those games. Vikings, Jets, Pats. Oh, Dak, 1st and 10, takes a deep shot to Turpin, and he throws a pick to Jair Brown. He kind of just sailed the ball up into double coverage. The tricky part there, though, is that Cavante Turpin is not the kind of receiver that's going to go up and really make a physical play to get the ball. Two defenders there. Cavante has to be wide open. And he was far from it. Two defenders there. And the Niners get a pick on Dallas's second possession. So I think a 5-0 for Dallas on the first drive, pick on the second drive. Yeah, not a good start for Dallas. Definitely not. They're not back from the bye week with a vengeance. Vikings, Bills, Jets. This is the thing, is like I would like their chances against all of these teams. Not like their chances, but their chances are fair against all of these teams if they have Joe Flacco. But without Joe Flacco, I don't know. I think we lose to the Lions. I think you lose to the Lions too as well. I think the Jets are a complete mess. I'd be shocked if you guys lose to the Jets. And you guys are definitely better than the Cowboys, but I do think the Cowboys. I think they could give you a game. Just end the season if we get less wins than losses. Yeah, you guys should just move to Flacco immediately. And the way the AFC is going, I'll put it this way: if they moved for Flacco, I think they're with the way the AFC looks, guaranteed to be a playoff team. Okay, but yeah, game recaps, people. Next one is Eagles and Bengals. So this was a great game from an Eagles standpoint. Convincing win. I actually thought the Bengals had some good things going on offensively, but I think the Eagles' bend but don't break defense really pulled through in the end. Didn't give Cincinnati many big chunks of yards and just easy plays. Kind of made Cincinnati continuously earn 5-6 yards at a time and string together these big long drives. And they kind of just waited for mistakes to happen. And eventually the Bengals did make some mistakes, letting pass rushes get to Burrow, or Burrow's pick. And then eventually there was a fumble by Gesicki as well. So, yeah, I think Cincinnati had some good things going on, but actually a really impressive game from Philadelphia, I think. We saw a little bit of everything. The defense holding Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase to 17 points, which I think in the grand scheme of things is pretty good. And the offense, you saw some playmaking through the air. You saw Saquon do his thing as well. I actually think this was a very well-rounded game. I don't think the Eagles, they played good but not great. But yeah, it was a well-rounded game. You saw a little bit of production from everybody. So really impressed with this win. Did not see it being a 20-point win by any means. Didn't really think that kind of blowout was possible. Obviously, the Eagles benefited from T. Higgins not being in the game. But yeah, from a Cincinnati standpoint, I think really disappointing that you can't have a good showing against anybody who's not in the bottom barrel of the league, right? They beat the Panthers, they beat the Browns, they beat the Giants. It's a very low standard of competition. Anytime they've played a half decent team, the Bengals have not looked good. You could say that they played a good game against Baltimore, but that's just a division rival thing. Two teams that know each other well. They really don't like each other. But as far as actual competition goes, man, the Bengals are not living up to the standard. On the Eagles side of things, I think, to be honest, we haven't had a lot of 20-point wins. Now, all of a sudden, we have back-to-back 20-point wins. Obviously, a 25-point win against the Giants, a 20-point win this week against the Bengals. So things are starting to get better. I think the fact that Hurts hasn't turned the ball over in 3 weeks is a really strong positive. Yeah, I think hopefully this is something that they build on, and this is something that becomes the norm. But yeah, as far as Hurts passing the ball, I think a key thing in these last 2 weeks is the pass attempts not being that high. I think Hurts threw the ball 14 times against the Giants. He threw the ball 25 times against the Bengals? Let me see. No, 20 times. So 14 and 20 times. I think if Hurts has to throw the ball much more than 25 times, we're probably in a bad spot as a team. We need to be a team that has balance with the rushing attack and the passing attack. Hurts has started to look better as a runner. I don't know if he's making a point to try to lose some weight or something, but he looks a little bit more explosive than in the past year or so. Hasn't really been an effective runner for a while up until the last 2 weeks. And I think you started to see the Bengals having to make adjustments. So all in all, pretty happy with what I saw from the Eagles. Next game we'll get into is Baltimore and Cleveland. But first, one change make us at least 6-2. We're a good football team. 100%. You're talking about the shock of the season so far. Hold on. What is this a reference to? Oh, we're gonna get to that at some point. We're gonna get to. Honestly, you're saying shock of the season. It could be a couple things. It could be a couple things, man. This week was a crazy week. I'm excited for Week 16. We play the Chiefs on Saturday. What day is that? Is that Christmas time? Christmas Eve or something? Purdy, play action fake, 2nd and 4, rolling. Finds Kittle at the 30-yard line. You guys look a lot better than the beginning of the season. Yeah, last 2 weeks, the Eagles have actually looked better than they have in a long time. Like, you could say this is the best they've looked since Miami last year, which was week 8 or 9. So this is in a year, right? The best they've looked in actually like a calendar year. Purdy drops back, play action, takes a shot to Debo, sails it a little bit. I thought the coverage was good up until the DB fell down. Obviously, it was an open pass attempt at that point, but yeah, decent. Actually, the DB didn't fall down. He almost dove to break up a pass before it was there. Purdy, hand off to Garendo. Garendo gets 4th down. 21st of December. Oh, 21st of December on a Saturday. That's going to be a time. That is certainly going to be a time, man. You got Chiefs and Chiefs and Texans. Probably 1 seed on the line. Or not, to be honest. The Chiefs might have that wrapped up. 1 o'clock. Where is it? Is it in Houston or Kansas City? Purdy. 3rd and 6, and he had somebody. He just missed him. So 4th and 6, Niners. Cannot capitalize off the interception. Cowboys defense stands tall. Looks like the Cowboys brought the house. And honestly, it looks like Kittle maybe wasn't on the same page with Purdy in terms of what route needed to be run there, because he came out of his break really, really sloppy. Almost like he wasn't supposed to continue forward, like he was supposed to just sit there in the zone. And Purdy thought he was supposed to keep going. But Turpin gets the ball, gets some space, takes a shot, but gets it to the 36. before some shoving happens. And it's a lot of shoving. Damn, I feel like I've seen at least 15 guys shove people. Yeah, they got to break this one up. It's in Kansas City. Okay. So it's going to be cold then, man. That time of year, Kansas City is going to be cold. There's going to be offsetting fouls on both teams for this skirmish. But yeah, they're going to go to break here. Next game to look at, Ravens and Browns. So from the Ravens side of things, you just got to chalk this up as another one of those weird losses. Last year, they lost to the Browns and the Colts, which were both kind of uncharacteristic losses. This year, they've lost to the Raiders and the Browns again. So yeah, it kind of just seems like this is what the Ravens do. They started out 0-2. You can't really say that the loss against Kansas City is a horrible loss, but the loss against the Raiders was. And then for 5 games, they look like the football team that we all thought they were. Played good football, played some of the best football definitely that we've seen out of all the teams in the league thus far. But then again, you just have this really strange game against Cleveland where, like last year, they kind of just play down to their competition and it looks horrible. So you lose to a Jameis Winston-led Browns team. The Browns couldn't really run the ball much. This was a Jameis Winston carry job, really. And when it comes to Baltimore, yeah, you can say that, they stumbled and they just seem to stumble, but even when they're good. But the thing about this year's Ravens team is that their pass defense is legitimately not good. I'm pretty sure they're the 32nd ranked team in passing defense. So that's just about obviously passing yards against them. So they can get thrown at. And again, in this game, when you think of the Cleveland Browns offense, you think big offensive line, Nick Chubb, controlling the game. It wasn't like that. The Browns couldn't run the ball. Their rushing stats look horrible. It was a passing game for the Browns. Jameis Winston showed up, hasn't played football in a long time, and just threw it all over the Ravens' pass defense. So that's a real concern. That has to get fixed on their side. And if it doesn't, you definitely have to be concerned. They have a rookie defensive coordinator, somebody who's like 32, younger than some of the players, no experience, tasked with figuring out how to get production out of these guys. So it's a big ask. Obviously, they're not going to make a switch at this point of the year. So can Zachary Orr figure out this pass defense? It'll be a big part of how things go from this point onwards. From the Brown side of things, yeah, the rushing attack didn't look good. The defense, you could say they had a pretty good game against Philadelphia and now against Baltimore. So the defense seems to be figuring things out. But yeah, offensively, Jameis Winston, shout out to him, playing a much better game than Deshaun Watson did at any point this year. Jameis looking like he's going to come do a Joe Flacco, right? He's going to show up and give this team quarterback play that they haven't had before or they haven't had this year. So we'll see if that happens. What the hell? What are they showing? I don't get what the point of this Dak drops back, surveys, check down to Tolbert, who makes a guy miss and gets 10 yards. A game that surprised me the most is the Cardinals and Dolphins game. Yeah, that was pretty surprising. Cardinals back-to-back weeks. Oh, it's holding on Dallas. But yeah, the Cardinals back-to-back weeks with game-winning field goals on the last play, making a habit out of it. 2 games I didn't expect them to win. Maybe the Cardinals are starting to figure something out. They play the Bears. who we'll talk about at some point, but just seem to be a crazy team. Man, it's really hard to understand why the Bears are the way they are. But yeah, they lost on a Hail Mary. They're gonna play the Cardinals next week. The Cardinals playing decent ball right now, winning games. So we'll see how that goes. Kyler against Caleb Williams. Two of Lincoln Riley's developed talents, and two improvisers. So I'd love to see them. It would be interesting to see the two coaches say, you know what, let's let these two improvisers just improvise the whole game. So Dallas finds themselves in third down. It is, what is it? It's third and you got the Cardinals against the Bears. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's 3rd and 9, 106 to go. It's a toss to Turpin, who has a bunch of space ahead of him, and he gets the first down, fumbles, but a Cowboys offensive lineman recovers. So this offensive lineman getting out there, using his athleticism to be all the way up the field. And it's important he did that, because if he's not there to clean up this fumble, it looks like there's nothing but Niners around him. Big up Joe. The Bears are actually the most annoying team. No bullshit. They I mean, obviously I was cheering for them to beat the Commanders and do us some help. And it looked like they were going to, but honestly, Shane Waldron has to go. Because they're just not playing good ball, and they have too much talent to be playing this nasty of a brand of football, you know. But back to this game, Ravens Browns. It'll be interesting to see what the Browns can make of the rest of their year with Jameis, because we saw this happen last year. Obviously, they're 2-6, so it's not looking great. But the thing about their next few games are you got the you got the Chargers, a bye week, the Saints, who, if they have Derek Carr, I think they probably lose that game. But if they have Rattler, the Browns are winning that game. Then you got Steelers, Broncos, Steelers. So I think the way they're playing, they could definitely split that Steelers matchup. I don't think the Broncos are anything special, and I don't think the Chargers are either. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit too far gone for the Browns to be thinking playoffs. But again, I think their defense had impressive games against Baltimore and Philadelphia. I think their running game has looked shit for a while, and that has to change for sure. But Jameis showed that he's going to be able to throw the ball around a little bit, not too much. Again, Baltimore's pass defense is one of the worst in the league this year. But man, it's just amazing to see the position that Deshaun Watson is in back-to-back years, and the backup shows up and plays better ball than you. Man, it's really, really bad. But to get to the next game, Colts and Texans. We talked about this quite a bit already. Texans, I think more of the same applies to them, which is, why are you simply playing down to every team you play against? The Texans are better than beating Anthony Richardson by 3 points and 2 points, and they're better than all the one-score games they've won. They're not playing particularly good football. Stroud is not playing that great either. Again, this was a team that was playing amazing ball down the stretch last year, and we thought got better on paper. So the expectation is that they're going to continue to build from where they left off, and just continue to get better and better as a team. And that has not happened. They've stagnated big time. So I think to watch out for with Houston is that we're halfway through the year, and they have not figured out how to play great ball yet. They just played a good enough ball to get the win. They win a lot of one-score games, but they are not the juggernaut that people expected them to be. I still expect them to continue to get better. Or not continue to get better, because they haven't. I expect them to get better at some point, but it hasn't happened yet. And that's just something that needs to be talked about. From the Colts side of things, I've already mentioned it in the chat earlier in the stream, but you can only go so long acting like Anthony Richardson gives you your best chance to win, because he doesn't. Joe Flacco does. And look, this is a 4-4 team that you could say 3 of their losses are because Anthony Richardson couldn't do what Joe Flacco does. This team, conceivably, could be 7-1 if they just got Flacco to play instead of AR. They could have beat the Texans twice, and they could have beat Malik Willis's Packers if Flacco was playing, because AR threw 3 picks in that game. So yeah, it's really frustrating. We'll get back to that in a bit, though, because this game is back and we got a big third down for Dallas. 3rd and 4 from across midfield. The Cowboys are at the Niners 46. Fake to the fullback. Dak rolls left, finds CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb gets dragged down by Jair Brown, but got much more than needed on the 3rd down there. Dallas well into field goal range at this point. Busted zone coverage there. Lamb gets behind all the zone defenders in the intermediate part of the field. First and 10 here. Draw to Zeke, who picks up about 10 yards. Good, tough running there from Ezekiel Elliott. And the Cowboys seem to have shaken off some of the rust, I guess you could say, they had on the first 2 drives. The offense was not rolling by any means in the first 2 drives, but this one here, they've got to the edge of the red zone. CD in motion. Dak. Oh, Bosa. Bosa just destroyed that play too easily. Whoever that right tackle is, I think he's been beaten twice by Bosa this way. You got to block Bosa, like with the 2 guys. Because Terrence Steele, oh, of course. Yeah, Terrence Steele can't hold up. Terrence Steele cannot hold up against Bosa one-on-one. There's got to be a tight end there helping. There has to be somebody chipping. Dak just steps back and the pass rush is there immediately. That can't happen. So 2nd and 15. We're way far behind the chains. Looks like there's a tight end on Bosa's side right now. And hilariously, they run it on 2nd and 15. So you got a 3rd and long now. Strange approach there. I didn't think running on 2nd 15 was the way, but they do. 3rd and 10 from the 20. He got the 5 yards back that were lost when Bosa blew the play up. Dak drops back, a tight end screen to Ferguson, who, it looked blocked up at the beginning. I then realized he'd have to make one guy miss. But shout out to Ferguson there. Picks up the 1st down. Dak fakes to Zeke. Throws a jump ball to the tight end, who's interfered with. Schoonmaker is interfered with by Ward. And it looks like this is going to be pass interference that puts the ball on the goal line. Big up, King. Yeah, we got the Steelers playing the Giants tomorrow. But yeah, you got your no hate watch for that game, but you got the result that you wanted. It gives Pittsburgh a chance to be in sole possession of the AFC North after tomorrow's game. Who do the Steelers play after that? So that would put them at 6-2. They then have a bye week and then play the Commanders, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs. Damn, your schedule gets weird. Your schedule gets tough at some point. Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs being sandwiched by 5 divisional games is wild. You guys actually just play all divisional games down the stretch. Week 11 onwards, all divisional games but 2. Yeah, no. Jaden Daniels, look, I actually like the fact that he played through the rib issue. That's the big thing. That's the big thing to take away from that game. I thought he played okay. The Bears defense did a good job of obviously keeping the Commanders out of the end zone until the last play. And with the Hail Mary, of course, it's not like much to do with the quarterback there. But nah, man, Daniels toughed it out. Gritty performance with a rib issue. The Commanders got one for sure. Commanders got one for sure. So let me see what else. Oh yeah, Colts Texans. Did I have anything else to say from this game? Nah, just the main thing being that they have to bench Richardson at some point. Packers Jaguars. Really interesting to see the Jaguars compete with Green Bay. I don't know what to make of that because I thought it was impressive that Green Bay beat Houston. This I expected to be a pretty easy game. Let me see the recent Packers results. But yeah, so they didn't play the best game against the Rams. Thought they played a pretty great game against the Cardinals. Yeah, I mean, I thought that they had a decent run of results going into this game. I expected them to beat the Jaguars easily. From the Jaguars standpoint, I don't know if this means they began to figure something out. Obviously, they blew out the Patriots, which didn't get much attention because you can expect that. Maybe this means that they're starting to figure something out. Yes, it was too close for the Packers. Shout out to Gail. What do you think the reason was? What do you think happened? Because obviously I didn't watch that game in the slightest, but really surprised to see how that turned out. The Jaguars play the Eagles next week, so I hope they haven't figured something out. But just looking at the stats here, oh, Jordan Love got banged up. Yeah, I saw that he left the game and came back, but I guess if he was playing through an injury, that can kind of explain parts of it. But it looks like Jacobs had a lot of success running the ball. Maybe if Jordan Love was healthy, obviously from the offensive side, for the offensive side of things, it could have been fine. But defensively, to see the way that the Jaguars ran the ball and threw the ball, that's really surprising. But ultimately, the Packers get it done. Not sure. Didn't like some of the play calling. Okay, that's interesting because yeah, it looks like Jacobs was running the ball. It looks like he was running the ball well. But the thing about, the Packers is football in the grand scheme of things. You're gonna have some weird games here and there, and it's important in those weird games where you don't play your best football that you just get the win by any means necessary and then live to fight another day, right? For the Packers, because of the division they're in, it's super important to get the wins when you don't play well. So I'm hoping that for their sake, next week they look like their normal selves again. They played Detroit before a bye week, so obviously that's a huge matchup. That's the game of the week. I'm going to be so excited for that one. But yeah, if they play like they did against the Jags, if the Jags offense can score 27 on you, the Lions are probably going to score 50. So that's something that the Packers need to keep in mind. But we got the game back. So we're going to move away from the away from the recaps for a moment here. Purdy and the Niners got the ball, 1st and 10. After a good return, it is their first possession without a lead. Love had a groin injury. Willis is a good backup, though. Yeah, Willis has been able to hold the fort down whenever Love has missed time. Oh, shit. Purdy has a wide open Deebo Samuel. There is a flag on the play, though, and it looks like Debo is going to toe the line to the end zone. He looks back for a flag. Purdy is, it's holding on the Niners. You could see just by Purdy's reaction after the play that there's no way that was a touchdown. Holding on the tight end. Let's see who he was holding on. Yep. Stops the pass rusher from being able to impact Purdy there. But, I mean, they got to look at the blown coverage there, because holding or not, they let Debo Samuel get completely free. And it's Debo Samuel. And they don't have other receivers. So how is he running free? 1st and 20 for the Niners. Lions with another belt-to-ass game today. Bro, the Lions, as of October 27, 2024, are just the best team in the NFL. Now, being the best team in the NFL in Week 8 is really not that important or significant, but it's definitely the case right now. I would say, if anything, it's a bit of a bad sign to be playing football this good this time of year, because sustaining it's going to be really, really hard. And for their sake, I hope that they are playing this kind of football. Obviously in late December, January, February, but yeah, whatever they do now, hopefully it doesn't get figured out by the end of the year, because they're playing some outrageous football. And then another thing to keep in mind, and we'll talk about it when we recap that game, they did not have that many yards of offense. Having 52 points without that many yards of offense is crazy. Christian Kirk is out for the year. Shit. So the Jags, who already are having issues, lose yet another weapon. It says here that Christian Kirk was a big candidate in the trade market. And yeah, he's obviously not going to get traded now. So that sucks. Third and 7. Purdy drops back. Quick trigger to the right to Pearsall, who I thought bobbled the ball a little bit, but then I saw nobody on the Cowboys sideline signaled a drop. So, I guess he caught it. Purdy, wide receiver screen to Samuel, who picks up about 4 or 5 yards. Easy pitch and catch on first down. So when I saw that Debo left the game with pneumonia last week, I was trying to think, that's the first time a player has left the game with illness, and it's that kind of illness. But I was shocked, man. That guy left the game because of pneumonia. How the hell did he not know beforehand? Okay, so if the Cowboys defense sucks this year, this is Mike Zimmer's last job, right? Like, there's no way he gets another chance after this, right? Oh, good tackle by whoever that was on Jordan Mason, because he had space to get much more than 5 yards there, but tackled after getting about 1.5 yards. And Niners back in third down. Obviously, they wouldn't want to punt the ball away, down 4 points. Their offense has had middling results so far, only 3 points. So yeah, this is a big play, 3rd and 4. Debo and Ricky Pearsall on one side of the field. Chris Conley on the other side of the field. Kittle lined up in line. Handoff to Mason, who gets stuffed. And the Niners are going to be in 4th and 3 at a part of the field where teams love to go for it. It looks like Shanahan is dialing up a play. But wow, they try to catch the Cowboys defense sleeping. It's a great play there by the linebacker from Texas, DeMarvion Overshown, who completely blows up that run. So Niners, 4th and 3. Huge play here. Have a chance to give Dallas a very short field if this doesn't work. And there's a timeout. First timeout for Dallas there. But yeah, huge play here, man. If the Niners don't get this first down, turn the ball over yet again, give Dallas a short field. I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, I think the Niners start the second half with the ball. Yeah, the Niners start the second half with the ball. So, I mean, even if Dallas goes down and gets another touchdown, the Niners it seems like the Niners would have back-to-back drives. And Debo drops an open pass there. It was underthrown. He had Debo. Purdy puts the ball behind him, makes Debo turn back to catch it, and he drops it. So the Niners turn the ball over there. Huge mistake by Purdy. Actually, he put it so far behind Debo. That's a horrible ball there. It was wide open. And the Cowboys take over with a short field and a chance to go up 11. So big swing in this game. Being aggressive went wrong. And Dallas will have the ball. So what's the next game? Oh, speaking of this comment, Lions with another belt to ass game today. Titans 14, Lions 52. So, first thing I wanted to talk about is just to get it over with on the Titans side of things. I think interestingly enough, they played the same game twice. Against the Bills, they had it a competitive game for about 20 minutes. And then they got absolutely smacked around for the last 40 minutes of the game. In this game, more or less the same thing happened. I do think it was 14-14 at some point. Titans hung around there with Detroit for about 15 to 20 minutes before they got absolutely demolished for the rest of the way. Looks like it was a 38-0 run for Detroit to close the game. So I mean, that's never a good thing. But from the Detroit, actually no, before I get to Detroit, Tennessee's clearly given up. They traded Ernest Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. So I'm sure there's a couple other people there that are trade candidates, but it has gone all wrong in Tennessee. And it looks like they're angling to get a top pick in the draft to, I guess for their sake, find a quarterback and then try again next year. But with all the money that they spent, I think it's obviously important for them to have a quarterback on a rookie deal. And they're going to get one at the top of the draft, and we'll see what happens. But to look at the Detroit side of things, what I wanted to talk about is the yards of offense they had. They had 225 yards of offense and 52 points. I don't even know how that happens, but Goff had 85 passing yards. Hooker and David Montgomery had 9 passing yards. So they had 94 passing yards. And Goff got sacked 4 times, right? So if you look at the minus yards from sacks, their passing offense probably had about 80 yards, which is outrageous to think. Their rushing attack, they had 37 plus 27, about 174 rushing yards, I think. No, maybe less. No, 164 rushing yards. So that is crazy. I don't even know how this happened. Let me look at, was it a lot of defensive touchdowns and special team touchdowns? No, just one special teams touchdowns. So I guess it was a lot of turnovers then, creating short fields. Yeah, there was 4 turnovers from the Titans. So yeah, again, I don't know how you can have 220 yards of offense and 52 points, but the Lions did it. So you got 1st and 5 for Dallas after the penalty. Dallas with a golden opportunity here to go up 11 points. Lamb gets about, I think, 4 yards here on 1st down. So it should be 2nd and 1. No, they gave Lamb the 1st down. So he got 5 yards on 1st down. Dalvin Cook gets nothing on 1st down here. So you got 2nd and 10. Turpin in motion. Fake to Dalvin Cook. Pass to the flat to Ferguson, who stays fighting for yards and picks up about 5 to 6 yards. Really impressive running there from Ferguson. Puts them in 3rd and 4. He got 6 yards there. That's crazy. Dak drops back, 3rd and 4. I think he wanted to take a shot, but then he stopped himself, takes a shot anyways, and finds Jalen Tolbert, who was working back to the receiver. There's a flag in the secondary, which is usually going to be a flag on the defense. But they got about 20, 25 yards anyways. So Dallas moving the ball. And the way Mike McCarthy is looking at his play sheet, looks like this is definitely a defensive penalty. Yep, penalty on San Fran. Oh, wow. The penalty is on the DB who held Tolbert, who worked back to the ball anyways. So Dak, he's 11 for 12, the only incompletion being an interception. So every one of his passes has found somebody. The ball has not hit the ground when Dallas has the ball. Quick little pass to CD Lamb here to get about 3-4 yards. Second and 7. Dak drops back, clean pocket, throws a. I mean, it's a tight window pass there to that tight end. It had to be a perfect pass, and it was, and he caught it, but he's so well covered that the DB has a chance to knock the ball out of his hands. Kind of a bad decision there by Dak. There had to be a better person to throw to. Had to be a better person. Dak dumps it off to Ferguson, who you know is going to. Oh, no, Ferguson loses the ball. I think he gets it back. Yeah, wow. So what I was about to say before he dropped the ball is like, oh, you know he's going to run hard and, put it all out there to get some yards. But ran so hard, he dropped the ball. Fortunately, it bounces right back to him and he can fall onto it. But Dallas is going to get a field goal here. Chance to make it a 7-point game, 10-3 score. Yeah, it looks like the Niners will get the ball back with just under 3 minutes to go. You presume that if they are to move the ball, they would use a lot of the clock, and the Niners will probably have back to back drives because they start the second half with the ball. So, I mean, really, if you're the Niners, no excuse to not get the lead back here. No, obviously, their offense has only been able to muster up one score, and it was a field goal. But regardless, if you want to win this game, it's got to start here. If they blow this opportunity of back to back drives, um, I think that, blowing your best opportunity in the game is a pretty good sign that you won't get another opportunity. So big drives coming up for San Francisco. To get into some of the other games, Falcons Buccaneers. So this one is interesting because the Buccaneers played football without their top two receivers. Expected them to struggle more offensively, but Baker still found a way to get 330 passing yards. Obviously, a couple interceptions, and those have to not happen. But I mean, shit, 9 catches, 81 yards by Cade Otton. And then there's a receiver here, Raheem Jarrett, who I did not know of. I did not know of at all before this, but Raheem Jarrett, 3 for 58. Bucky Irving, 40 yards. Rashad White, 40 yards. McMillan, 35. Just all the way down. I think Baker completed passes to 8 or 9 targets. 50 pass attempts from Baker Mayfield. But yeah, to see them throw the ball 50 times without their top two receivers, I am surprised that they were able to get this much offensive efficiency. And even from the standpoint of their running backs, they didn't run it much, but they did have a reasonably efficient running game. You definitely think that they win this game if they're healthy, but unfortunately, they're not. From the Falcons side of things, they were expected to win this. I don't think it should have been this close of a game. Kind of a bad sign for Atlanta in the grand scheme of things that it was this close. But if you look at just practically what their situation is, their only competition in the division is Tampa Bay, and now they've swept Tampa Bay. So they have the tiebreaker there. And they have the lead. So what is the situation? They're 1 game up on Tampa. They have the tiebreaker. So they're 2 games up on Tampa. Yeah, their chances of making the playoffs are very good, but I think their chances of doing anything in the playoffs very low. Should have had an easier time against Tampa when Tampa doesn't have their guys. That's definitely my negative takeaway for them from this game. But the game is back. Aubrey is about to kick this ball back off to San Francisco. Like I said, big drives here for San Fran. This is their chance to get back in the game. They have this drive here. They have the first drive of the second half. Real chance here to get back-to-back drives. Down 7. So, you could take the lead back if you play your cards right here. So we'll see if they can do it. Aubrey with a kick into the end zone. And the Niners will take the ball at the 30. There's a flag on the play. So we'll see if this changes the starting point of the drive. But wherever it starts, huge drive for Dallas. So it looks like the penalty was on the kicking team. San Fran will start at the 35. Okay, we're just casually watching footage of shot Ricky Pearsall. That makes a ton of sense. I don't know why we need to see that on NBC's broadcast. Big up, Leon. You guys beat the Jets. That's hilarious. Garendo, head of steam, gets about 20 yards. The Niners are already in Cowboys territory. But yeah, is there not a bigger dumpster fire than the Jets right now? I think that this is a generational mess. Because if you think about where they are, they're such a logical selling team, or like their situation is such a textbook like selling situation, but they're so deep into being all in that you couldn't possibly sell. Like, oh my god, Garendo with another hole. Shout out to Rex Ryan, who was talking on the broadcast about the Hot Cowboys can't stop the run. Um, we're seeing it on this drive for sure. Yeah, you can't trade for Devontae Adams and bring back Hassan Reddick and then sell. So, also you can't sell with a 40-year-old quarterback. So the Jets, I mean, are they going to trade for somebody again? Like, are they going to trade for another piece? How is this going to work? As is, you're not good enough. You're 2-6. If you want a chance to make the playoffs, you actually damn near have to run the table, except for one game, realistically. So I don't know how this is going to work out. The Jets will always be the Jets, man. Whatever. Like, this is actually crazy that Zach Wilson had them in a better position this time last year. But that's not a joke. Zach Wilson, I think beat the Chiefs and the Eagles last year. Like last year, the two teams who were in the previous Super Bowl were the Eagles and the Chiefs. And this guy beat them both. Yes, bro. Two of the guys they let go. Oddly enough, Jets Patriots was the next game for recaps. Jet side of things, more of what I'm talking about here. That's a complete mess of an organization. They have no sensible ways of moving forward. And I think this is probably just destined to fail this year and then maybe next year before everybody gets fired. That's GM, coach, quarterback at that point probably retires. Like, this organization is going to start from ground zero either this offseason or next offseason. So that's just where things are going with them. Complete mess of a team. From the Patriots side of things, it's depressing that Drake May got a concussion because he's probably not going to play next week. When they play the Titans, so they could beat the Titans with Brissett, but that would have been a great chance to see Drake May hoop on the Titans. The Titans, the way they've been getting blown out, I don't expect them to win. Oh shit. Mason went back to the locker room, so Garendo is actually probably going to get most of the touches from this point onwards. Shit. Well, Purdy with the ball. We'll get back to that game. Do the Jets have any money left for the future? That's a great question. We'll look into that in a second. Oh, Garendo bobbles the ball, but then gets a. Oh my God, this guy just has run the whole. I think he has all the yards in this drive. Well, there's a flag. Might this be holding? Holding on the offense. Damn, San Francisco is playing what's the opposite of mistake-free football? Mistake-full football. Yep, held the safety right there when the rusher was rushing by him. Okay, so this question about the Jets having any money left for the future. The thing about the NFL is that you can borrow from like the future in a way when it comes to the money. Like, you can at any point conceivably afford anybody. It's just about how much of your future are you willing to dig into. That's a drop. Yeah, that wasn't a backwards pass. That's an incompletion. So last two times Purdy has thrown it to Debo, it's been dropped. I think the first one was Purdy's fault, throwing it behind Debo. This one is a perfect pass. Debo simply just drops it. I think he got a bit ahead of himself. looking downfield to see who he might be able to make miss. But he drops the ball, and they're in 2nd and 20. So it looked nice on that Garendo play. It looked like they were going to be in the red zone, but now all of a sudden they're in 2nd and 20, which at somewhere where I think is outside of field goal range for their kicker. Yeah, this will be a 59-yard kick, and they have a backup kicker right now. Another bad Purdy pass knocks the running back off balance so hard that he stumbles out of bounds. So this gets it into a bit more reasonable of a territory, but a couple of things are going wrong here. A couple of things are going wrong here. They're probably going to have to just settle for yardage here to kick a field goal. And the way things have gone, the fact that they got these big chunks of yards, they're not going to be able to kill this clock. So their opportunity to have back-to-back drives probably going to get wasted here because Dallas is going to get the ball after this play with probably one timeout left. Purdy wastes a bunch of time, gets it to Kittle, who stays in bounds. The Niners will take this field goal. Dallas will take a timeout. So now the Niners kick a field goal. Dallas still has a 4-point lead. And now Dallas has a chance to go get this field goal back. Niners did not take advantage of the opportunity that they had. Don't think so. They have to start thinking about extensions for Sauce and Garrett Wilson. So that's kind of what I was going to get to. You can conceivably spend however much money you want to spend. You just have to think about how far in the future are you willing to borrow from, and who on your team requires money going forward. I think they're going to be aggressive about borrowing from the future to spend when they have Aaron Rodgers. But they do have players like Wilson and Sauce they have to extend. They have to pay Devontae Adams, I'm assuming. They're probably going to pay Hassan Reddick something. So, yeah. I think they're going to be able to... they're going to make moves in free agency, but it won't be like big moves. There's a lot of teams with cap space. Teams like the Bears and the Steelers and the Patriots, they're going to be the teams spending money. The Jets will make, ho-hum regular moves. But yeah, 10-6. Patriots, Jets. So yeah, just about the Patriots before we finish up. I think this was actually a really big game for Gerard Mayo because of how things turned out with him calling the defensive players soft. Belichick got in the media this week and during 2 separate shows talked about how he doesn't think these players are soft. He coached them last year, whatever. But the point is like it was kind of a contentious point for like what Mayo did was a bit of a contentious point. And there's always a risk. There's always a risk when these kind of things happen that you could piss players off and get on their bad side or whatever. Obviously, there's the possible reward that it could light a fire under your players. But I thought how this game went was actually going to be big for just Mayo's standing in the locker room. And from what I saw, how they were playing, it looks like the players were playing for Mayo. So it looks like he, had enough of a pulse on his team to know that calling players soft was an appropriate thing to do, right? Everybody outside of the situation is just kind of assuming how the players might feel. Nobody really knows except the people in that locker room. So the fact that the players didn't quit on him yet, I think is a good thing. Leon says we'll see next week. We will see next week, but also I do think that first week afterwards is a pretty important thing. The fact that they haven't quit on him, I don't think they'll all of a sudden quit on him next week. So it went well. They upset the Jets. They beat them with Brissett. Obviously, I think May was giving them their better chance to win football games. They got the lesser quarterback in, and they won the game. So again, I just think it was a big thing for Mayo that it looks like the whole thing wasn't a bad decision to call the players out because they got a win afterwards. This was a rivalry game. The players had to be up for this one. Can't get swept by the Jets. That's true. And also it's a rivalry game where the Patriots have been dominating this rivalry. But let me look at the rushing yards for the Jets quickly because that was the thing. Okay, so the Jets kind of still did get yards on the ground. Hall got 5 yards a carry. Braylon Allen got 2.7. So Braylon Allen got held in check, but Hall did his thing. Because the thing is the run defense for the Patriots was so bad last week that the Jags ran 16 runs in a row, which is like unheard of. And that was the part of the team that he called soft, particularly. Okay, Cavante Turpin actually gets a good opportunity to return the ball here. Gets out past the 30. So the Cowboys will start at their 33. But yeah, it turned out good for Gerard Mayo. Next game we'll get to is Cardinals Dolphins after the break or during the next break. First and 10, Dak to Tolbert, who turns around, gets to the 40. Cowboys have one timeout, so don't have too much time to waste, but they get back to the line of scrimmage quickly. Snap the ball with about 109 to go. Dak basically throws it away there. Nobody really had a chance to get that ball. So it's 3rd and 3. Damn, you know what? If they get nothing here, the Niners get the ball back with less than a minute and 3 timeouts. Third and 3. Dak drops back, gets hit as he gets thrown. That's not a fumble. That's simply an incompletion. So yeah, the Niners are going to get the ball back with 3 timeouts. I still don't think it's enough time for them to do anything, but it could be. It could be. Anger gets a punt off. Fair catch by the Niners. Punt return at around the 16. So yeah, it's a long ways to go, but they do have 3 timeouts. So we'll see what they could do. Oh, it would be a horrible time for a turnover. I'll tell you that much. Would be an absolutely horrible time for a turnover. But yeah, next game is the Cardinals and the Dolphins. So the Cardinals get another win on a last second field goal. What are they showing here? Oh, an interference by the Dallas guy? Did they call that? It looks like they missed that. But yeah, the game's back, so we'll get to that game in a bit. First and 10 for the Niners. Purdy drops back. He scrambles out of the pocket, gets to the 30, gets out of bounds, so they won't have to use a timeout. Still 3 timeouts for San Fran, 45 seconds to go. Ooh, no, he's down in bounds. They should have to burn a timeout here. Yeah, they should have to burn a timeout. Man, this review is going to take too long. It should have been one of the ones where the person can just buzz in and get it done immediately. But yeah, they had to burn a timeout. 47 seconds to go. Niners probably, what, for before the half kick, about 30 yards away from being able to kick a field goal. 10-6. Purdy finds Kittle, who puts a move on Donovan Wilson, and no joke, picks up the exact 30 yards I'm talking about. So the Niners already in the edge of field goal range. It would be a 58-yard kick from here. For what it's worth, I think their kicker would probably miss a kick from that far. For those of you who may not know, the Niners are playing with a free agent kicker because their main kicker messed their ankle up against Seattle. 39 seconds to go. Purdy drops back, steps up into the pocket, fires it to, I don't even know who that is, but it's really low, and the guy has no chance of catching it. Second and 10 here. Garendel in the backfield. Debo in motion. Purdy drops back, and I think that's a fumble. I think it's a fumble, but Banks picks it up. What are they ruling that? If it's a fumble and a recovery, they have to burn a timeout. He got lucky. Oh shit, they did have to do it. So out of field goal range now, 3rd and 17. They couldn't spike the ball, so they would have to go for the sidelines. They'd have to rush the field goal team onto the field immediately. Purdy drops back, gets it. No, it's an incompletion. So 4th and 17. Oh, that's a crucial fumble from Purdy there. Takes points off the board for San Francisco. Yep, 4th and 17, 20 seconds to go. They got a punt. What a mistake. What a big mistake. probably the second last play of the half here. Wisnowski will just punt it to Dallas, and then Dallas will take a knee. It gets downed at the one remarkably, so it'll be hard to take a knee, but they're probably just going to run it up the middle here. 10-6 Dallas at halftime. I do think Dallas has played the better game. Dak has outplayed Purdy. And if you look at the total yards of offense, actually the Niners have outgained Dallas by quite a bit. It must be Garendo on the ground. Well, Garendo only has 38 yards. But yep, Cowboys take a knee. They get to halftime, 10-6. San Francisco will start the second half with the ball. No touchdown for them. Their stats look decent, and they've been able to move the ball, but they're just faltering for one reason or another. But yeah, shout out to everybody here. I'm going to take a break at halftime for a little bit, get myself sorted out, get some water, use the washroom, whatnot. You guys sit tight. I'll be back. We got more recaps for the week on the other side of this break, and we got the second half. So I'll be back in a bit. You guys sit tight. Word, I'm seeing a raid just hit, so I had to cut my break a little bit short. But shout out to everybody pouring in from the raid. Goddamn, I did not expect to be out here so quickly. I just thought, I can't have people pouring in without knowing what's going on. But shout out to Warrior J, my people, as always. Shout out to everybody that's pouring in from. I think you guys were at a United and Liverpool show. Hope you guys enjoyed your Sunday of football. I'm here to talk about another Sunday, another kind of football from this Sunday. This is NFL channel, people. Welcome to Emotion Football. And my name is Alam, and today we're doing a watch along for Cowboys Niners, which is at halftime right now. We're doing recaps for the rest of the football from this Sunday. But like I said, this is a whole different football that we're talking about here. Yeah, big up to everybody that's pouring in from Sarcasm City. Shout out to Flawless as always. Yeah, make sure you guys tune into all the NBA and NFL content on Sarcasm City, because that's where you guys will find me. Big up Jez. It was a crazy day of football today. Hope you guys got a chance to catch some of it. I know Jez, I saw you tweeting about the Browns. That was a crazy game. We got upsets today. But yeah, typically what I do during these Sunday night football watch alongs is we recap all the games from the Sunday and we'll watch the Sunday night game. So for those of you guys who are pouring in here who are not NFL American football fans, if this is something you want to learn about, this is probably the best place to do it. We got a bunch of people in here who love the sport just as much as I do. So if there's any questions you might have, yeah, it would be best to learn the game while watching the game with people who can help you figure the rules out. And if you love the game, of course, good place to hang out with other people that enjoy the sport just as much as you. Yeah, I had an eye on the games, wasn't locked in on the games. Bro, I'm sure you caught the end of the Commanders-Bears game, though. That shit was crazy. Run up the likes. Big up Flawless. Yeah, that game was crazy for sure. I may as well get into some recaps here while everybody's here. Cardinals-Dolphins. The Cardinals won a game on a last-second field goal for the second week in a row. They're making a bit of a habit out of it. I think Miami's cooked now. I think that puts them at 2-6. So they have no possibility making the playoffs. Like I said, I think this year, actually in the AFC it might be different, but you got to get 9-10 wins, which means you can only have 7 to 8 losses. And these motherfuckers in Miami already have 5. So it's looking real bad for Miami. That season is over. The kind of irony of Tua coming back is that, like, what are you coming back for? You're risking your life practically for a team that has no prospects. It's not even like you guys are contenders. So Miami's doing a lot, man. I do think Tua will find some way to just not be on the field because the shit is not worth it. I actually think, oddly enough, Miami should capitalize on this situation, get a really high draft pick, and go again next year. But for the Cardinals side of things, man, the Cardinals, I think, are starting to figure out how to play football a little bit. They stumbled into the year, won back-to-back games. They're 4-4. Marvin Harrison, 6 catches for 111 yards. I think a man like Marvin Harrison is starting to finally figure it out. I think he had. Let's see how these game logs have aged. Yeah, honestly, this is by far his best game by yardage. Actually, I lied. Week 4 against the Rams. But yeah, this is his second best game of his career so far. That's going to add an element to their offense that, nothing else can replicate. Trey McBride is good. Kyler and James Conner make plays on the ground sometimes. That's cool. But there's nothing that could push the needle with this offense the way Marvin Harrison Jr. hooping could do for their offense. So to see him have another big game, that's really, really big. When it comes to the Cardinals rushing attack, it looks like they couldn't run it today, which is not good to see. I don't think the Dolphins run defense is particularly special or anything. But yeah, the Cardinals are at 4-4. They just had their best day for Marvin Harrison. They go up against the Bears, the Jets, Seahawks, Vikings, Seahawks, Patriots, Panthers, Rams, Niners. So you're talking about divisional games, which are always winnable. Obviously, you're not going to win them all, but they're all winnable, especially in their division. And then a bunch of other teams that they could win games against. So the Cardinals have a nice little opportunity here to figure things out. Whether they'll do it or not, that's yet to be seen. But yeah, Kyler Murray, we all know how good he is. Call of Duty dropped, and he still won the game. So you know he's committed to football. I think that was the thing I was watching for, is if Kyler Murray either had a bad game or they lost the game, you know the Call of Duty slander would have been unreal. So that's what it is, people. Cardinals, we'll see how they do next week, but it was good stuff. Saints Chargers. So first and foremost, just to quickly talk about the Saints, not much new to say. Kind of story of the last month still applies. This team is shit without Derek Carr. Their quarterback situation is on duty on and off the field. Let's go. Facts. There's jokes for days about that situation. But yeah, the Saints are cooked. Their backup quarterback situation is so bad that they have no hopes without Derek Carr. I don't know if this team is going to win another game unless they get Derek Carr back. I don't know when he's going to come back, but this cannot work with Spencer Rattler. This cannot work at all. But from the Chargers side of things, I actually think it took them a long time to get their footing in this game. And I think between their game last week against Arizona and then this game against the Saints, I'm actually a little bit concerned with the Chargers. I think they should have handled business these last 2 weeks. These games should not have been as close as they were. I think the AFC is wide open for the last two wildcard spots. But they're definitely doing their job to make it more interesting by letting other teams in, because I think they started the year like 2-1 or something. They had a bunch of winnable games. They had a chance to pull away from other teams, but they play the Browns next week. That'll be fucking interesting. We'll see if that works out for them. I kind of have a sneaky suspicion Cleveland could get something from that game. But yeah, man, the Chargers not looking impressive the way I may have hoped. Gonna look at their stats here. I know they got a long touchdown to McConkey at some point. But yeah, Lab McConkey got a 60-yard touchdown. Josh Palmer got a 45-yard catch. I mean, outside of those two plays, man, Herbert was 18 for 30. 174 yards on the ground. They could not muster up much of a rushing attack from their running backs, who averaged about 3 yards a carry. So rushing attack was ineffective. Passing attack had a couple big plays. Yeah, the Chargers kind of struggled. The Saints obviously had to go to two different quarterbacks, but they still managed to get almost 300 yards of passing from two quarterbacks. So yeah, I don't know, man. Kind of not impressed with the Chargers. They're 4-3, but I think they're probably going to finish with, like, I don't know. They seem like a 9-8 team to me now, where I think there was a chance they could have got 10 or 11 wins before. But yeah, my mind's definitely changed. Next game we can go to is Bills and Seahawks. So in this game, obviously the Seahawks didn't have DK Metcalf. That was probably the end for me. I already knew they weren't going to win this game. And this game kind of went exactly how I would have expected it. Seattle's going to struggle without their main guy. I don't think they have the required talent to make up for a guy like DK, because while I like Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba, I don't think Gino's the kind of quarterback that's going to get them involved the way an offense would need them to be in order to make up for DK. And the way Buffalo was always going to play, a running back in Kenneth Walker was not going to be enough to go band for band with Buffalo's offense. So expected this one to be like this. Unsurprised that it happened. But man, Buffalo rolling on all cylinders. Josh Allen had a good, efficient day. James Cook had a good, efficient day. Just a very business-like win from Buffalo. It's a beautiful thing to see, because we see that Baltimore maybe has some chinks in their armor. We see that Houston isn't playing well. The stage is really set for Buffalo to be that next best team, to be in a position there to be having a chance to play Kansas City in an AFC Championship game. So, the streets need that, man. We need that matchup in the playoffs with everything on the line. When we get back to the next break, we will finally talk about this crazy game, Bears Commanders. But we got football back. It looks like this kickoff from Dallas failed to reach the landing zone. So Brandon Aubrey, a kicker who can hit from like 70, could not hit the landing zone. And the Niners get the ball at the 40. Guerrero finally is tackled before the line of scrimmage. This guy was ripping off crazy runs before halftime. Finally gets tackled. Who you got winning this one? I was watching OKC. I think I have Dallas winning this one, man. I think San Francisco has looked shaky. Yeah, I think San Francisco's look shaky. Purdy ran for the first down here, so they're already in Dallas territory. Bro, did OKC win? Damn, OKC snapped in the fourth quarter. 12 men on the field for Dallas, and Purdy still runs for a first down? That's disgusting. Yeah, I'm seeing that they outscored the other team by hella points in the fourth quarter. Third and 1 here. So I guess they marked Purdy short. Third and 1. They sneak it. Purdy gets the yards, but he takes a hit. And finally, San Fran's on the Dallas side of the field. Actually, I lied. He got away from the defender that was trying to hit Purdy. Guerrero in motion. Purdy drops back, finds Kittle, who has a ton of space. Kittle is still running. Kittle out of bounds at like the 3. Over 40 yards for Kittle there, who runs a simple slant route. It looked like San Fran spread out Dallas's defense, so whenever Kittle got the ball, he had a ton of space, and he made the most of it. Won the foot race against Donovan Wilson. Certainly wasn't getting tackled by him. You're not tackling George Kittle with arm tackles. SGH had Wallace and AC had a big fourth. Yeah, I'm sure Caruso is a big help for that team. Frees up SGA defensively. Guerrero up the middle into the end zone, I think. And it's a touchdown, San Francisco. San Francisco takes the lead. Should be 13-10 for them. Good efficient drive for this first drive out of halftime. Dallas gets the ball back. This is kind of what I was talking about before halftime when San Francisco got the ball with about 3 minutes to go. And I was looking at it and I thought, San Francisco has a chance to have back-to-back drives. You're down 7. You really no excuse for you to not have a lead after those 2 drives. Now, it worked out kind of weird where they got a quick field goal and then Dallas got a possession and then they did nothing with it. And then San Fran, there was this weird trade-off of possessions in the middle. But yeah, they ended up getting these 2 scores here without Dallas really properly being able to respond. And yeah, the Niners have a 3-point lead. Dallas gets the ball back, and we have a game. People, Hurts should be in MVP talks this season. I'm trying to see what the MVP race is right now. It's realistically it's Jared Goff, Mahomes. Even though Mahomes will tell you he's not playing well, the quarterback of an undefeated team is always going to be in MVP talks. Jared Goff, Mahomes, who else? I mean, I guess the argument could be made that Hurts would be 3, but honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't think Hurts has even been playing well until these last 3 weeks. And the argument could be made that, yeah, he wasn't going to play well without Devontae and AJ, and he spent a good chunk of time playing without Devontae and AJ this year. But you know what? Maybe these things age over the next month. I think the next month will be will be big for the MVP race. If Hurts keeps playing well, then he has a chance to play himself into it. But yeah, bro, next week against the Jaguars, that should be a great opportunity. The week after against the Cowboys. Yeah. I'm just realizing the Patriots are going to win next week and get a third win. That's going to fuck them in the tanking, in the draft pick situation. That's not good. But yeah, shout out to everybody watching live. 67 people tuned in right now. Most of you guys came from the Sarcasm City raid. You guys are much appreciated. If you guys want to show appreciation for the content and support what's going on, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Those are the 2 best ways to support content on YouTube. The more you interact with the channel, the more engagement it gets, the further YouTube pushes it. And that's how channels get bigger. When YouTube realizes that people fuck with this content, so let's push it out to more people. That's how this whole thing works. And honestly, like any kind of engagement, likes, subscriptions, comments, chats, dislikes, hate, bro, leave hate in the comments if you want. That's more than welcome. That's more than welcome for sure. Damn, they're showing some high school footage. You know what's crazy? I was at a fantasy draft before the year, and somebody put a video up of like greatest football hits ever, right? And it was just guys getting smoked. And they showed some high school football clips, and I was just thinking about it, right? Because the clips are from like 6-7 years, not even, probably like 10-15 years ago. Oh, they toss it on the kickoff. This Cowboys guy is going backwards. And he gets to like the 28, so that's all for nothing. It's all for nothing. It was well covered by the Niners there. But and I'm just seeing it, right? And I'm like, yo, these high school players are getting absolutely like fucked up, but like these are kids. Like I'm watching kids getting CTE right now. Like that's what it said in. It said in differently. I don't know why, but I was watching this highlight tape of kids in high school like taking these crazy like shoulder to helmet hits, and I'm just like, yo, I'm watching a child getting CTE right now. What the fuck? But yeah, whenever I see high school football, that's what I think of, man. You got people paying bare money to watch kids getting CTE. Are they saying that was a forward pass? Oh my god. That's crazy. That's a crazy penalty. Because you're going to now be like at your own 8. That's a bad mistake. They're at their own 11. That's a really bad mistake. Super random, but who you think will go top 5 in the draft at the moment? Still early. CTE in high school is crazy. That's what it is, though, bro. That's what high school football is. You know what? I'm gonna look at a mock draft right now and see, based on that, what I believe. Water football. Because the tricky thing is assessing whether quarterbacks are gonna go high or not. Because some people think that they deserve to go high, some people don't. Then there's always the idea that quarterbacks inevitably just go high because it's such an important position in the sport. Wide receiver screen to CD, gets 5-6 yards on 2nd and 10. Okay, so non-quarterback wise, Travis Hunter, I think he's guaranteed to be the first pick in the draft. That's not a quarterback. That part I think is pretty clear. Aside from him, Tedoroa McMillan, T-Mac, receiver from Arizona. He looks insane, man. He's gonna go really high in the draft. Big play receiver. So you got 2 players who I think Travis Hunter is gonna mainly play receiver. So That's two receivers. Oh shit, Dak. Oh shit. Oh my god, Dak. That's a crazy interception to throw. Forcing it to CD Lamb on the sideline, own side of the field, down 3. Oh my god, Dak. Why would you do that? CD had no chance to get that ball. It was either the Niners guy was going to get it or nobody was going to get it. What the hell, Dak? Is he in bounds? Elbows in bounds. God damn. What the fuck was that? Yeah, okay. The Niners are definitely getting this win after that. that just about the swing that is. The Niners, after getting a touchdown, are probably going to get another touchdown here, go up 10. What the? But yeah, I'm seeing edge rusher Michael Williams. I guess Michael Williams for Georgia. That makes sense. Will Campbell, tackle from LSU. Sure, I guess so. Mason Graham. Oh yeah, there's a couple pieces from Michigan's defense. Mason Graham, defensive lineman. Will Johnson, corner. So yeah, those guys, that checks out. And then in terms of the quarterbacks, bro, you got like the options are Shador, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, Cam Ward, Carson Beck. There's all these names, right? But I don't actually know if any of these guys are that good as players. So if they all go high, bro, it's a crazy like stretch. It's forcing it. So teams like the Titans and the Panthers, all these teams at the top of the draft that really need quarterbacks, they need quarterbacks because in a way they're shit franchises. Then they're gonna force it and draft quarterbacks that aren't that good, and then they're gonna be at best maybe average teams. And it's gonna be bad. I think a lot of who would be good backups in their first seasons. This is a good point, bro. This is a good point. A team like Carolina, yeah, especially these shit teams, if they draft these quarterbacks, bro, they should not be starters initially. But these teams would put them in that position. So, like right now, looking at the top of the draft, the quarterbacks would go to teams like Carolina, Cleveland. You know what? Cleveland could Cleveland could at least play Deshaun Watson. Have that not work, but you can at least play him and the other quarterback can sit. But Tennessee is going to need their quarterback. Carolina is going to need their quarterback. Jets, they're going to have Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, they can't go quarterback. They have to go all in. Draft somebody that can play right now. New Orleans, they can play Derek Carr. So New Orleans could be good for a quarterback. Purdy on 3rd and 3, scrambles, gets the yardage, gets out of bounds, and this drive continues. That was a big chance for Dallas to get off the field, but they couldn't figure it out. 1st and goal now. That's fucked. Rest of the teams. Vegas would need their no, you know what? They could, you know what? They benched Minshew right now. Maybe Vegas could play Aiden O'Connell. Oh, the New York Giants. Yeah, they're going to need their quarterback. Probably. But then again, they could play Daniel Jones as well. Yeah, I don't know. I think only a few of these quarterbacks are going to get the luxury of not having to play. I think a lot of them will have to play, and it'll be bad. Debo gets to the 3-yard line. 2nd and goal for San Fran. Eight minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Conley goes in motion. Fake to Garendo. Oh, that was a slick little play there. I don't even know what happened myself. Who got the ball? Oh, Juszczyk got the ball. Let's see what this play was. I don't even know where he was and how he got the ball. McCaffrey is going to be back after the bye week. They got to win this game, man. Kittle, oh shit, there's 2 flags. That must be a pick play. The way that worked, with how open he was, they must have picked his defender. Yep. Conley runs right into his defender. Shit, yo, this offensive pass interference could mess the drive up. What? They said there's no foul for offensive pass interference? How? Is it because the receiver was getting jammed by the defender? I guess that's what they're going to say happened, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I kind of don't like that call. But Niners take a 10-point lead. That's a big gap there. I don't think Dallas comes back from this. Yeah, I don't know. The way Garendo's been running it too, because Mason wasn't having a lot of success on the ground, but Garendo's been balling. So I think that if anything, that probably continues. Oh yeah, Bears Commanders was the next game to talk about. So Bears Commanders, right? We're gonna talk about the Commanders first. Obviously, before a Hail Mary on the last play, they had 12 points, so they had 4 field goals. We do acknowledge that the Bears defense is good. So while I want to kind of say that the Commanders' offensive day wasn't all that impressive, because it wasn't, I think the bigger deal is that they were efficient against a good defense, and Daniels toughed it out with a rib issue. That's where the credit is deserved. That they just showed up and didn't play bad with all the adversity that's going against them, right? Obviously, their quarterback has a rib issue. He's a little bit underweight anyways. Going up against a good defense, you didn't fall apart. So that's a good thing from that standpoint. Defensively, that's where I think Washington deserves a lot of props, because they held Caleb Williams to 36 passing yards through 3 quarters. That's insane. That's insane. I would have never guessed that. I started Caleb Williams in fantasy this week. I thought he would get something. I don't think Washington honestly has the pieces to do something like that either. Like I didn't think Washington was capable of doing that to any quarterback. So yeah, Washington's defense, man, they do have some personnel issues. A lot of people have pointed that out. But Dan Quinn had them balling today. So then when you get to the Bear side of things, defensively, again, I can't really fault them for anything except the last play. On the last play, there's a couple things with when the ball is in the air, defenders are taught to knock it down, but nobody did, man. They swatted at the ball, but nobody was trying to hit it down. Like if you look at Tariq Stevenson, he just his hand is going upwards as the ball is coming. You don't need that, man. You do not need that. So the simple technical issue of not knowing how to defend that moment is crazy when it comes to going for the ball. But the other thing about that play that was weird is that if you're defenders on a Hail Mary play, you have no reason to come out of the end zone. So this is my thing. The ball was short of the goal line. The offensive players 100% should come out to get the ball. If you're the defensive players, you can step up to the goal line. You have no incentive to go out of the end zone. No incentive. If he catches it at the 3 yard line, you gang tackle him at the 3. Simple stuff. So I could not believe that they played that situation that poorly. Obviously, it's just sheer dumb luck that it bounces the way it bounces, and there's a Commander's receiver right there. But crazy that you didn't have that locked up. Again, it's just one play. Rest of the game, the Bears defense did well, but down to the Bears offense now, or onto the Bears offense now. Yo, Shane Waldron, the offensive Dak put the fries in the bag, big man. Let's go, Ahmed. Let's go, Ahmed. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's looking bad. It's looking bad for Dak right now. Look, outside of those 2 interceptions, I don't think he's really even had that bad of a day. But the 2 interceptions are so bad that it evens it out. But yeah, we'll get back to the Bears at the next break. 6:30 left in the third, 2nd and 4 for Dallas. Dak steps up, tries to sidearm it to Evan Ferguson, but his fundamentals are so fucked up on that throw that is nowhere close to anybody. Footwork were all kinds of messed up, all type of off balance, and you just can't get that ball there. So yeah, big 3rd and 4 here, man. Dallas has all the momentum going against them right now. 3rd and 4. Dak is scrambling, rolling to his right. Oh my god, who the hell was he throwing that to? And why were there two Cowboys receivers in the same place? Simple spacing. That should never happen. Should never happen where 2 receivers are in the same spot. What the hell? Dallas is on some premier bullshit right now. Everything was looking good. You were up 10-3. You got the ball back up 10-6. You gave San Francisco a chance to get more points. They actually refused to score points. They were in field goal range. Then Purdy fumbled it to go backwards. Man, Dallas had a chance in this game, and they completely messed it up. Niners will start the ball at... Yeah, Niners are going to start with the ball, 6:09 to go at their own 30. If they score a touchdown here, we may have to implement a fade of the stream situation. If you guys aren't familiar, on Monday Night Football last week, we stumbled into a great segment that I call fade of the stream. And that's where when the game gets too shitty, we put the fade of the stream on situations in the game to, one, give the game some entertainment, put some stakes on the game, and other, give me an opportunity to get out of the game. So I'll say this: if the Niners score a touchdown here and the Niners go up 27-10, fade of the stream is that the Cowboys have to get points on the next drive. If not, we cut the stream. Yo, I did this, Jez. I did this Chargers Cardinals last week, right? So there was 2 games. The Ravens game ended, and then there was Chargers Cardinals. That game was so shit. It was so low scoring. I did fade the stream. I just organically stumbled into it. Maybe halfway through the 3rd quarter, I was like, yo, if they don't get to midfield, I'm cutting the stream. And then they got to midfield, and then the Cardinals got the ball, and I said, okay, same thing. If they don't get to midfield, and these 2 offenses started going up and down the field. And then obviously the game ended on a Cardinals field goal at the end of the game. So actually, like, bro, they started hooping as soon as I threatened to cut my stream. So that's what we do, people. When the game gets too lopsided, we're going to do fade of the stream. I did it for basketball for the Raptors game too. When they were getting blown out by Cleveland on opening night, I was like, yo, fade of the stream. If this gets up to a 30-point deficit, we cut the stream. Lo and behold, the Cavs made it a 30-point deficit with 10 minutes to go in the 4th. I said, fuck this, end this stream, Dave. And I cut it immediately. Fade of the stream is more exciting than the game when the game is bad. This is true. This is true. It gives us some entertainment. So, fade of the stream will come into play if the Niners score a touchdown here. Because, yeah, if it becomes a 17-point game with little over a quarter to go, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to do something about that. But yeah, gonna finish this off. On the Bear side of things, offensively, man, Shane Waldron is horrible. Shane Waldron is really bad. The Bears have far too much talent to be playing this bad offensively. And the bigger thing is that they're just not playing good football, right? Because my way of unpacking it is always that, like, as a player, your attributes, like your physical attributes and your skills, are like having tools in the toolbox. And then once you get past that, it's simply just about like how do you play the game, which is just very much about playing the game. It's a mental thing, right? And then when it comes to teams, like from the coach's standpoint, it's the same thing. Like your players, again, are like having tools in the toolbox. But then what you do with them is all about, like, it's a whole different kind of know-how. And the Bears just have none of that know-how. They simply do not play good football. They have good pieces. They have 3 good receivers. They have a quarterback who can play. They have a running back who can produce. They have an offensive line that's starting to play better. But they just do not know how to play this sport. Like, the offensive coaching is horrible. So I think this is ultimately what's going to cost them this year. Again, it could have not costed them today. They could have won this game. But even still, man, they went 4 and out at the goal line, goal to goal. They could have actually been up more than they could have been up, 10 points at the end of the game. This would have never happened. Oh my God, Purdy's going to run. So much space on the Cowboys defense right now. But yeah, man, Shane Waldron, simply not a good offensive coach. Was not good on Seattle for the last year or so. He's not good on Chicago right now. So yeah, when we get back, we have 2 games left: Chiefs, Raiders, and Panthers, Broncos. But we'll get into that at the next break. 4:45 to go in the third. Fake to Garendo. He looks deep, takes a shot to Kittle about 20 yards down the field. God damn. So yeah, this Niners offense has been rolling in the second half. Well, this is basically their third time in the third quarter being inside the Dallas 25. The offense has been moving pretty easily. I'm going to check to see. Wrong game. I'm going to check to see how many negative plays they've had, because I don't think they've had many in this third quarter. Rush of them 4, pass complete for 43 yards up the middle. So in their first drive, they had no negative plays. 12 yards, 3 yards, 4, 6, 4, 1. Okay, so the Niners have not had one negative play in the third quarter offensively. So they have not had a rush that goes for negative yards. They have not had an incompletion. Every single play, the ball has moved forward in the third quarter. And it's been about 16, 17 plays now. I'm going to get a count on that as well. 16 plays, man. The Niners have run 16 offensive plays, and every single one has been positive. Talk about a defense showing up after halftime and completely just throwing the game away. Yeah, it's been really ugly. I'm just gonna quickly grab my iPhone charger. It's like on the other side of the room. I'll be back in like a second, but hold on. All right, we're back for 2nd and 7 now. We got the Niners at the 25. Use check in motion. Bunch of vertical routes. They dump it off to Garendo. And finally, the Niners offense has a negative play. This dump off to Garendo goes for -1 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 8. Dallas with a chance to get off the field defensively. To keep the entertainment value in the game, that's going to be necessary. If the Niners get a field goal, I don't think we're in a fade of the stream situation. I think a 13-point game is still enough of a game. But I think on the next Niners drive after that, we could be in a fade of the stream situation. Purdy drops back, finds Debo, who does not go down easily. He missed Debo on a very similar crossing route on a 4th and 3 earlier in the game. This time he did not miss Debo. 1st and goal at the 9. Good execution there. But yeah, Niners offense only has had one negative play in this 3rd quarter. 1st and goal. Damn, the Niners are going to really avoid going 3 and 5. I was kind of rooting for that. I know I'm supposed to root against the Cowboys. I kind of wanted the Niners to have a bad record worse. Like, that's more important to me for some reason. 2nd and goal. Rush for Garendo doesn't go for much. Purdy's going to get the ball out of the shotgun with Debo in the backfield, hands it to Debo, who has a lead blocker, gets to the 3-yard line, seems frustrated with himself there. 3rd and goal, which should be the last snap of the 3rd quarter, or not. Amani Oruwariye is down for the Cowboys. He cut down Juszczyk, and I think he hurt his shoulder in the process. So loss would put Dallas at 3 and 4. They play the Falcons next week. I do think they'll beat the Falcons. And I almost kind of hope they beat the Falcons, because if they lose to the Falcons and go 3 and 5, they play Philadelphia the week after. I don't want to play Dallas off back-to-back losses. Definitely want them to get a win before playing Philadelphia so that they're not like super motivated. But then again, I don't know. Where is that game? Dallas and Atlanta. Is it in Dallas or in Atlanta? Because Dallas has been getting their shit kicked in at home this year. Dallas will travel to Atlanta. So you know what? Maybe they'll beat Atlanta and they get smoked at home, back-to-back games, Philly and Houston, because that's kind of just been the theme for them this year. Getting completely blown out at home. All right, we can get to the last couple of games now. Chiefs Raiders. Okay, I'm actually shocked that this game was as close as it was, mainly just because the Raiders were talking shit in the offseason. I don't know if you guys saw, but they did a video with Kermit the Frog doll kind of mocking Mahomes' voice in the offseason, which I'm sure they felt comfortable doing because they beat the Chiefs. But you should not feel comfortable taunting the GOAT. You should not feel comfortable doing that. I expected them to get blown out for that reason, but they actually played a pretty tight competitive game. There was a point where they were down 4 and they forced Mahomes, like they tipped Mahomes' pass at the line of scrimmage, and they got a pick to set them up nicely at the Chiefs 4-yard line, but ran the ball 4 times and got stuffed 4 times. Couldn't get any points. The Chiefs actually really gave them a chance to win, and they couldn't get it done. It's clear that the Raiders just know how to play the Chiefs. They know how to make those games ugly. They just couldn't get it done. DeAndre Hopkins' first game in a Chiefs uniform, and oddly enough, it just looked like the same game. Like they had a slightly better piece. Oh shit, Purdy sneaked it from the 2? That's crazy. That worked? Dallas should be ashamed of themselves. What the hell? Purdy should not be able to sneak it from the 2. Okay, so it's a 17-point game, and people, fade of the stream has been activated. Dallas has to get points on this next drive, or we cut the stream short. Dallas has to get points. But yeah, nothing like DeAndre Hopkins didn't show up and like fundamentally change this offense. Simply just added another weapon for Kansas City to do more of the same. That's kind of my interpretation of how he was integrated into the offense. Yeah, he had 2 catches for 29 yards. Kelsey had 10 for 90. But yeah, just a continuation of what they had before. They couldn't run the ball in this game. They relied on Mahomes, who obviously carried them sufficiently. But yeah, Raiders defense had a good performance. But again, they have these type of games against Kansas City. The issue is that they don't have these kind of games for anybody else. It feels like. So that's all from that game. I don't know. Maybe Kansas City will blow them out in Kansas City, but I know Kansas City wants to beat up on these guys because they talk so much for a team as bad as they are. But yeah, people, we are gonna have fade of the stream activated. We'll just get into the last game quickly before Panthers Broncos. So same shit, different day for the Panthers. Destined for a top 2 pick. It's a battle between them and Tennessee. Complete mess of a team. Everything looks all bad. Chuba Hubbard is their most reliable offensive weapon. It's just all bad. On the Broncos side of things, it's just tough because the Broncos have a lot of these games. Their schedule is really easy. We actually don't have that many opportunities to see them tested. So it's going to be hard to see what Denver's made up of, because there's not actually that many teams in that tier, because obviously they're better than a lot of these shit teams. And then I think obviously they're not as good as some of the good teams. So like, for example, they're going to play Kansas City and Baltimore next. I think they're obviously going to lose both those games. They clearly belong in the middle, but there's not that many other teams in the middle to truly see them match up against and like get a feel for where they are. So that's just the trick with Denver, is that it'll be hard to gauge where they are, but hopefully after that, I'll look into their schedule in a bit, but hopefully after that we get to see what happens, or like we'll get to see how good they really are. Yeah, so they play the Falcons, Raiders, Browns, Colts, Chargers. Oh, Colts, Chargers, Raiders. Those kind of games will help you understand what they really are. Dalvin Cook up the middle for 6 yards, or no, for 4 yards. Okay, so the recaps are done. Setting up a banner for Fate of the Stream. Stream ends if Dallas doesn't score. Hell yeah. There we go, people. We got the banner up. So all viewers understand. Fate of the stream. The stream ends if Dallas doesn't score. 2nd and 6 for Dallas. I don't think they're actually going to run this play. And they don't. We go to the end of the third quarter, 27-10. The fate of the stream relies on Dallas being successful here. But yeah, we're at the end of the third quarter. 55 people still watching. Shout out to you guys for being tapped in. Much appreciated. If you guys want to show your appreciation for what's going on, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Two very important forms of engagement for the growth of a YouTube channel. At 126 subscribers, road to 130. That's what we're doing here, people. Yeah, if you want to support the content, likes and subscriptions are the best way to do so. It's what helps YouTube channels get bigger. So we got no Monday Night Football stream because the game isn't good enough. We are going to have playoff landscaping on Tuesday. We're going to have Thursday Night Football, Jets, Texans, for sure. And then after that, let me see, because there's another stream that I want to do. I want to do a quarterback carousel stream where we just talk about the quarterback situation in the league. But let me see when I can do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a great chance to do it Friday or Saturday. So yeah, no, just the next streams are going to be playoff landscaping on Tuesday, Thursday night football, Jets, Texans, and then Sunday night football, Vikings, Colts. And then the Monday night football after that is Chiefs, Bucks. So I might do that. Yeah, I'll probably do Bucks, Chiefs. Because the Bucks defense will probably make that a game. And quietly, the Bucks need wins really badly from this point onwards. Sunday, November 17th, the Grey Cup. Man, maybe one day I'll do a Grey Cup stream. Yeah, we got the start of the fourth quarter. People faded the stream. Stream ends if Dallas doesn't score. 2nd and 6 from their own 44. Not that far from field goal range. I don't know if they would go for a field goal here unless it's like 4th and 5 or something. Dalvin Cook picks up a yard. So it'll be 3rd and 5. So with the fade of the stream on the line, Cowboys will go for 3rd and 5 here. Damn, who's the Niner that got smoked there? Oh, it's a linebacker? It looks like a special teamer. Lamb in motion. Probably 4 down territory. Dak steps up. Dak gets... Oh, he gets sacked. So 4th down here is going to be big. I think they probably go for it, but it's a 4th and 8. Bro, I did the same. I dropped like 120 and 130 in 2 different leagues, lost both. One of those weeks, man. One of those weeks. But yeah, 4th and 8 here. I think they're going to go for it, and this will be for the fate of the stream, people. Hey, I don't. Oh, God, they're punting. So that's it, people. The Cowboys are punting with 13 minutes to go, down 17. That's wild. So there you have it, people. The Cowboys 3rd and 5 with the stream on the line, did not convert. So in a game that's basically over now, it's a 3-score game, and San Fran's going to kill at least 2 minutes. This game is over. Bro, they really punted. I'm not going to do any more of this game, but they actually punted in that situation. Bro, you have no chance winning the game anyways. You may as well try to go for it there. Yo, what the hell type of conservative shit is this, man? Anyway, shout out to everybody tapped in. 56 people still watching live. You guys are much appreciated. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, like I've been saying. Again, like I said, we'll be back Tuesday, Thursday, and Monday for streams. Playoff landscaping on Tuesday, Thursday night football, Jets Texans on Thursday, and Sunday night football, Colts Vikings on Sunday. That's it, people. Big up, Jez. Cowboys gave up on the season, the game, and my stream, people. This is what Fade the Stream is, man. We put real stakes on football games. We put more we put more importance into that drive than the Cowboys did. Think about that, people. Think about that. I thought that drive was a bigger deal than Mike McCarthy did. Nasty, nasty, nasty business. For those of you guys who really desperately want to watch a stream for the remainder of a football game, which is a 17-point game with 13 minutes to go, salute to you guys. I'm sure you guys will find somebody else, but I'm out, people. I'm going to get ready for work tomorrow. You guys be safe, take care, and I'll catch you guys on Tuesday. Shout out to you guys.